The Regional Health Sciences Foundation hands out the country's largest ever Hospital 50/50 prize. Good evening and thank you for joining us. Today, the president of the foundation announced the $6.4 million winner for their December 50/50 draw.
Vasilios Bellos was there when the phone call was made. Vasilios, who is the lucky winner?
Ryan, it was a couple from Sudbury that took home the big jackpot, and it quickly turned into a very emotional moment. They said the $6.4 million will allow them to spend more time with their children, as one currently lives in Calgary, and flights aren't cheap.
A life-changing and record-breaking phone call.
Do you know what the final total was? $6,436,355.
Thunder Bay Regional Health Science Foundation President Glenn Craig made the emotional call on Friday, letting Natalie Begris and her husband Clem, a couple from Sudbury, know they've just become millionaires. The $6.4 million Thunder Bay 50/50 for December was the largest jackpot for any hospital draw in Canada. The big win comes at a great time for the family, as Natalie recently took several months off work to care for her father in his final days.
And I don't regret any of it, and that's a huge part of why we do what we do, and I'm so grateful and so I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to say. I'm just like blown away.
Begris also talked about her son who lives in Calgary, with the money making it possible to spend time as a family much more often. Craig says it's stories like that that make these moments so special.
When she mentioned she had just dropped off her son at the airport and hadn't seen him in 6 years, like, as every parent, like, that just got to me. So that it's not going to be 6 years before the next time she sees her son.
Since launching in 2021, the 50/50 has sold more than $112 million in tickets. Not including 2024, over $27 million has gone to the Thunder Bay Regional Health Sciences Center to support life-saving services and equipment. Vasilios Bellos, TBT News.
Meanwhile, a Thunder Bay woman was the winner of the Dryden Regional Health Services Foundation 50/50 draw for December. Julie Vilchek won the big jackpot, worth more than $200,000. She and her husband got the exciting phone call this week from Foundation co-chair Brad Coles.
And I'm just calling to let you know that you are our grand prize winner. Yeah, I'm serious. So do you know how much the do you know how much the grand prize was?
Yeah, like over 200,000.
$229,612.50.
Oh my gosh. Wow, I can't believe it. Like, I am actually so shocked. We were joking on the couch, like, oh yeah, we'll win it, and oh my gosh, I'm like floored right now.
This was the 5th time in the past 6 Dryden 50/50 draws that the monthly winner was from the Thunder Bay area.
Well, officials here in the city see both pros and cons of the announcement that the city will receive a Heart Hub. HEART stands for Homelessness and Addiction Recovery Treatment. While there's excitement that the province is investing to tackle the local addictions crisis, there's disappointment that it comes at the cost of the region's only safe consumption site. The Heart Hub, which will be operated by Norwest Community Health Centres, will be operational on April 1st. It'll offer primary care services, mental health supports, and addiction care. The Heart Hub will replace Path 525 after a provincial decision to close safe consumption sites located less than 200 meters from a school or childcare centre. Thunder Bay DSAB Chair Brian Hamilton says that site is effective, but he's still happy to see strong provincial support to address addictions.
What I'm hearing from the front line is people saw some effective engagement with users on the front line, and that they were changing lives and saving lives. So this is a bit of a change of tact. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Fortunately, though, with the Heart Hub comes resources, comes staff, and comes really, a supportive frontline approach.
The Thunder Bay Heart Hub is one of 9 sites approved by the provincial government so far.
5 people were arrested last night after a drug bust on the city's south side. It happened on the 1000 block of Donald Street East. Police discovered cocaine, crack cocaine, and fentanyl. The estimated street value of the drug is $120,000. Police also seized a loaded firearm and more than $13,000 in cash. A 39-year-old from Thunder Bay and 4 other people from Southern Ontario were arrested. All appeared in court today. Police say the investigation continues.
Thunder Bay Police have announced the results of their 2024 Festive Ride program.
A total of 27 drivers were charged with impaired driving, either by alcohol or drugs. And city traffic officers noticed a few concerning trends over the past month and year. Brendan Miller reports.
It was a busy month overall. We had a significant number of noteworthy incidents. I know some of them we've talked a bit about already, but we saw a wide variety of offenses, a wide variety of kind of concerning trends.
Thunder Bay Police launched their Festive Ride program on November 30th, and the initiative wrapped up on New Year's Eve. Constable Tom Armstrong says he and other traffic officers pulled 27 impaired drivers off city roads and streets over the past month.
Of those 27, 16 were impaired by alcohol, 8 were impaired by drug, and there was 3 that were refused breath samples. So, as you know, the trend all year has been there's a significant number of drug impaired drivers. I think over the year it was almost a 50-50 split. So, concerning trend, and one that we've talked about before, but we're really looking at kind of ramping up those enforcement efforts for drug impaired drivers as well. So.
Armstrong also pointed to another trend in December, as a large number of impaired charges were laid against young or novice drivers. Armstrong has been posting videos on social media over the past few weeks to highlight some of those frightening incidents.
We had a few very high-speed related things with novice drivers. One was a couple weeks ago, stunt drivers on Memorial Avenue. And New Year's Eve, we had a driver doing 120 in the 50 on North Cumberland Street. There was a G2 driver who was found to be impaired. Very troubling trend. I'm not sure why, but yeah, that's something we noticed this year for sure that seemed to be different than years past. So.
The average number of impaired charges over the past few years has been around 200 annually, and 2024 nearly matched that. There were 191 impaired charges laid by Thunder Bay Police, with 91 of them due to drug impairment. Armstrong says they'll continue watching for impaired drivers throughout January and beyond.
Yeah, it's something that's priority for the service, and we're going to be continuing on well into the new year, and not just wrapping up after this Festive Ride campaign's over. So,
Brendan Miller, TBT News.
Local police have arrested 3 men in connection with a pair of armed robberies at convenience stores. The first happened on Sunday morning at an East Arthur Street store, carried out by 2 suspects wearing hoods and masks. The clerk was threatened with a weapon while money was taken from the register, and an elderly female bystander was assaulted as the theft fled. She suffered serious injuries. Less than 48 hours later, on Tuesday morning, another store on West Arthur Street was targeted. 2 people brandishing knives stole cash and merchandise. A 20-year-old man is accused in both crimes, while a 35-year-old and a 26-year-old have been charged in one of the robberies. They face a long list of charges and remain in custody.
Criminal charges were announced today by OPP in northeastern Ontario in connection with a frightening road rage incident on Monday afternoon. A driver in Temiskaming Shores was chased and then rammed twice by another driver. The 2 collisions happened about 2 minutes apart. The second as the victim fled toward an OPP station. It was all captured on his dash camera.
He's gonna try and run me into the bridge. I'm in danger right now. I'm in danger. On the bridge. He's chasing me. He's passing me. I'm in front of. Ow! He's gonna hit me again. I can't see anything.
His thought process.
James Turner was the victim in the road rage incident. He later posted this video online showing the damage to his vehicle. OPP had to use a spike belt to stop the other driver, who was apprehended and arrested. Turner says the harrowing incident all started when he flashed his high beams at the other driver after the SUV nearly caused a head-on collision, and things escalated quickly after that.
So he flipped around and proceeded to chase me down the road, and try and push me off the side of a 200-foot drop into icy Wabi River, which was a little bit scary, I must admit. You can hear the fear in my voice, very genuine. I've never felt that scared before in my life.
OPP say one officer was injured during the arrest. The driver of the SUV, a 37-year-old man from Earlton, has been charged with assault with a weapon, dangerous driving, criminal harassment, mischief endangering life, resisting arrest, fleeing police, and assaulting police, causing bodily harm. The accused remains in custody and will have his next court appearance on Monday in Haileybury.
Ontario college students could soon see their winter semester cut short, as a union representing faculty at the province's 24 public colleges issued a strike notice late this afternoon.
So they want 5 weeks self-directed time, and they want to reduce their teaching hours to on average, fewer than 9 hours a week. And when you add up all the reductions and the increase, the less work and the increase in pay that they want, it's $1 billion. And it's just, there is no way the college system can afford it. And as I said, we're happy to go to a binding arbitration and make sure the students stay in class.
After the notice period, a strike could start as soon as next Thursday, but OPSEU has said members should continue to report to work unless otherwise instructed.
A spokesperson for the province says those $200 payments that have been promised to Ontarians should come by the end of January or early February. Premier Doug Ford has said the rebate is intended to help residents cope with the high cost of living and the impact of the federal carbon tax. Ontarians who were 18 or older at the end of 2023 and filed their income tax for that year are eligible. Families who qualified for the Canada Child Benefit in 2024 will also receive an additional $200 per child. The government pegged the cost of the initiative at $3 billion. The opposition has called the checks a gimmick.
Thunder Bay's free holiday parking has now come to an end.
Local business owners say increased traffic generated by the break was definitely a bonus. Justin Hardy has the story.
The city's free holiday parking ended Wednesday, and the parking authority is once again checking meters. The holidays can be an already expensive time for most Thunder Bay residents, and holiday parking was designed to help alleviate some of that stress, while also encouraging motorists to visit local businesses, especially in the downtown cores. Jim Camuzzi, owner of Rooster's Bistro, says the extended free holiday parking really helped out. He says he saw a change in the downtown as motorists could park freely and shop locally over the holiday season.
Well, I believe it increased us because we compete with the malls. I mean, we don't have the free parking outside the door like most of these bigger centers do have. So the downtown has to be a little bit more inventive as far as how we get people to come down and stay down. And the free parking was definitely a bonus.
The only real issue Camuzzi saw during the holiday parking was the lack of awareness of the break by many downtown visitors. City Councillor Brian Hamilton says the city tries to get the word out, but he also encourages local business owners to help spread the word for the next parking holiday.
That's always a problem actually at the city level, is it's really difficult to communicate. There's only so much you can do. I mean, people aren't, not everybody is actually following social media or following the news, so it is a little bit difficult to get out. And I think that's the onus is on some of the business areas. Certainly, you know, if you walk into my business here, we have a sign on the door that says parking authority is active in this neighborhood. We try to warn people, and you know, maybe the onus is a little bit on the business community to kind of get that word out.
With the end of free holiday parking, the parking authority is once again out in full force, patrolling the streets of Thunder Bay, as this reporter has learned firsthand. Justin Hardy, TBT News.
Oh, Justin.
They're getting a parking ticket, doing a parking ticket story.
Exactly. That's classic. There's something a little ironic even about that. But that free parking was very, very helpful, I must say. But turning to weather, Haley, this is what cold feels like now.
Yeah, absolutely. Mother Nature was kind of doing double duty today, not only giving us colder than seasonal high, but also getting gusty winds at the same time. So today wasn't a necessarily easy day if you were out walking about, because our high of the day was -14. Typically for this time of year, we see highs around -9, so significantly colder than that, with a wind chill making it feel like -22. We saw that high around 1 and 2 this afternoon. It was also very early in the morning, around 1 or 2 in the morning. We saw -14. -14. Then around 9 a.m., that's when we got our low. That was -17, feeling like -27. So we've kind of done a bounce back and forth, -14 to -17, back to -14, and we'll get even colder for tonight. But let's focus on for today for a little bit longer. We saw a mix of sun and cloud, and those winds from the northwest to the west-northwest were fairly gusty. Although the lowest speed was 14 kilometers an hour, we were actually pretty consistently at 20 kilometers an hour or faster than that for most of the day. So the winds were whipping around quite a bit. Now for the region today, we're not the only ones feeling the cold. If anything, there's a lot of places feeling colder than us. Areas like Red Lake, Kenora, Dryden, Sioux Lookout, and Armstrong all have an extreme cold warning issued for those areas tonight. They've all seen wind chills around -30 consistently throughout the day today. And with those extreme cold warnings, they could see wind chills of -40 tonight. So that means frostbite within minutes if you aren't properly prepared. So definitely be careful in those areas. A lot of those areas saw light snow earlier in the morning, with Kenora even seeing some ice crystals, Sioux Lookout seeing some blowing snow. That did clear up as the day went on though, and most of these areas are seeing mainly clear skies right now, as you can see in Red Lake and down in Fort Frances. Fort Frances at -19 right now. Their low was -20, so they haven't fluctuated much at all, with a high of -18. They're right in the middle of it all right now. Atikokan and Uppsala are both at -18 right now, and they were -19 for most of the day. So if anything, this is one of their warmer moments. And then areas like Armstrong, they're at -17, but they saw winds from the northwest and west-northwest as well, gusting close to 50 kilometers an hour at times, with light snow in the morning and periodically throughout the afternoon. Greenstone also seeing some moderate winds and snow on and off throughout the day lightly, and that's currently happening there right now. Areas like Marathon and Wawa were mainly cloudy for most of the day. We see -14 there, -13 in Wawa right now. Fairly similar conditions wind-wise to Thunder Bay today. Sault Ste. Marie, they've had that snow squall warning for most of the week. Now it's more of just a snow squall watch, so things are dying down slightly, but that light snow is still fairly consistent. They're at -8 right now. Now for Thunder Bay tonight, like I said earlier, we are expecting to get a little bit colder. So -20 is our predicted low, and that is seasonal for this time of year. Those wind chills though, making it feel like -30, partly cloudy, clearing skies as the night goes on, and like I mentioned, risk of frostbite. So I don't want to see anybody get frostbite on my watch. I will warn it as many times as possible. Because, yeah, it bites. It's just in the name.
Yeah, it sure does. And I know it shouldn't be a shock to the system, Haley, in January that we have cold temperatures, but yeah, my reputation as a winter wimp is well earned, so I definitely felt it this morning.
Winter wimp. I
Oh,
know.
let's
I think that
let's
we
not
found
have
his
that.
name.
Let's not have that catch
That
on.
was
What am I doing here? I'm just feeding you fodder. All right, well, let's move on as quickly as we can. After the break, we'll turn our attention to Ottawa. The Prime Minister faces increasing pressure to resign. We'll have the latest on that on the other side.